Al filo de la 1 del mediodía, en Negocios Televisión, en Ponte en Acción, analizando las consecuencias en la industria de gestión de activos y sobre todo con este 2025 vertiginoso en el que hay muchas realidades. Una de ellas sigue estando en el punto de mira y no precisamente por cuestiones halagüeñas, la inteligencia artificial. Vamos a descubrir las oportunidades, cómo la inteligencia artificial está impulsando otras industrias y cómo está aprovechando las gestoras de fondos esta disrupción de la inteligencia artificial al servicio de otros sectores como el industrial, el sector médico o el sector de infraestructuras. Hoy estamos con Madeleine Ronner, Portfolio Manager Smart Industrial Technologies en DWS. Madeleine, hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, how would you assess the current industrial landscape in terms of adopting artificial intelligence?
So all of the industrial companies that I talk to are working on it and are doing something and are adopting it in some way or another. So it's important to note that this will not happen overnight, this will not happen within a year, so they're still in many cases in testing phases, where in different factories they're trying things out, but the margin for error is quite low, especially in the production process, so it will be a slow process. However, the good thing is industrial companies for the last 10 years have already worked on collecting data, of implementing measuring systems. So they have the data and now they can use AI to drive better decision making, to increase production processes. They're using stuff like digital twins, for example, where they have like a digital version of the factory and they can basically test different things that AI can suggest and like switches to the manufacturing process to increase efficiencies there.
Which regions or sectors are leading this shift?
Yeah, from a subsector perspective, I would say the automotive industry, for example, has an edge here, be it like on the automotive driving side or also on the production side. I mean, it's an industry that's already heavily automated, so they kind of have an edge. In warehousing, we see a lot of adoption already, so be that in robots that are used as well as visual technologies that can inspect things. So I've actually visited warehouses already where this is used, but I think it will also be a broad application. So I've talked to another industrial company, for example, they just automated their order process with it. So like an off-the-shelf order would always go directly to the customer already. But if it was a more customized order, it was still like a human involved in processing it. Took 3 days. They now do it with AI and do it in 90 seconds. So I think it can be these broad little things that can really drive productivity and efficiency here. And from a regional perspective, it's still US and China leading, especially in the US, the regulation is a little bit better to just test things and implement things, in China as well. But Europe is not standing still. So, for example, one German car manufacturer, they have a test facility in the US where they employed humanoid robots that increased the speed by 400%. So it's a lot that can happen here, but it will take some time. But it's very exciting time to look at the old economy as well, where things are improving.
All the regions. With digitalization and automation being critical drivers right now, how are industrial companies responding to the pressure to innovate and integrate artificial intelligence into their operations?
Yeah, so they for sure feel the pressure. So on the one side, it's a way to offset some of the cost headwinds that companies are seeing, right? They're constantly looking for ways to be more productive anyway and to increase profitability. And now this can be a way to offset some of the cost inflation they're still seeing or tariff headwinds or whatever. And they're also, especially on the automation side of things, they face heavy competitive pressure from Chinese companies as well. So it's incredibly important for these companies to stay ahead from a technology perspective so that they don't get erupted in their market share by these Chinese players, for example. So what they're doing, for example, and where we see the most advancement is that they're investing in, again, AI technologies that can improve things that are already happening. So one example would be predictive maintenance. It's basically where they measure some different vibrations or stuff like that in machines and elevators. You can do it everywhere. And AI can predict the probability of this breaking down in the next month or so. And if it does, they send some people over who fix it. And it doesn't have, like, you don't have a downtime of it. So it can improve of the customer. It can improve your productivity by a lot. And for the other companies that's doing the maintenance, it increases the attachment rates. So you're much more likely to have a service contract now with these companies, which come at much higher margins for them. So that would be one area. Digital twins, I already mentioned it. It can just drive general better decision making. So there are a lot of areas and ways where companies are improving.
Madeleine, in this sense, and given the recent global events such as supply chains disruptions or regulatory changes, how is artificial intelligence contributing to the resilience and competitiveness of the industrial sector?
Yeah, I think it's very important that we have AI right now on the first time, like it can increase productivity, which can offset some of the tariff cost headwinds, for example, but it also helps making faster decisions and better decisions. So for example, 10 years ago, if you would want to price on or give the tariff increases back to your customers basically and make a price hike, it would take a lot of time because you don't have the data, you don't know where products in which regions. Right now, with this degree of digitalization that we have, like some companies told me that I spoke to, they can do the price increases of the tariffs within a day. They can just implement it because they have the data for it to analyze it to see where exactly they have to. So this can help faster decision making, more precise decision making, and that can help just in volatile times, can help a lot. And also it's something that the company can do independent of macro, right? If you increase your productivity, like macro can do whatever it wants, you still have this kind of self-help potential within your profitability and margins that can help you. So. Yeah.
Okay, Madeleine, and with all these that's ideas, what is the best strategy or to take advantage of this artificial intelligence to serve numerous sectors such as industry, robotics, medtech? What fund, what product do you have at DWS that responds to these perspectives?
Yeah, so I manage the DWS Smart Industrial Technology Fund, which actually is exactly the idea what I'm talking about. We also have an AI fund that also has some of the applications to it, but obviously this is more prone to the side of data center investments as well as the application within the industrial space, and kind of invest in all of those companies that combine these traditional industrial areas with more technology precise areas, and also with companies that are leading in these areas are investing a lot to stay ahead.
Is it a diversified fund? Does it have more heavily weight in certain regions, or is very selective? You talk about Europe, China, United States. Can you give us any name, any stock?
Yeah, I can't give single stocks, but you can look at my top 10. You can imagine that I have high conviction there. From a regional perspective, I own US, like 60% US, which is in line with the benchmark, as well as Europe. I think Europe has been obviously under-owned a lot, and you see it in days like today that some optimism can drive a lot of share price upside, and especially on the infrastructure side. I also do that within my fund. So I have like the more cyclical area, which is automation, digitalization, and the themes we talked about before. But I also have like it's a diversified theme of like pack of themes. And on the more defensive side, it's like infrastructure, medtech, as well as energy and building efficiency. So it's diversified in the themes regard, and I can also make use of like the infrastructure theme that we're currently seeing in the market, for example.
Okay, Madeleine Ronner, Portfolio Manager, Smart Industrial Technologies, DWS. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Bien, pues hasta aquí este apartado, la industria de gestión